The morning session, which of course, as you know, is a grey and cloudy morning. My home city of Gloucester, waiting to be hit by a storm hitting landfall in the UK. So with that said, let's go on with the video, shall we? Of course, down there, of course, we've got a few buses down there. Alexander Desivar 300s and 200s mixed. And we've got an Alexander Desivar 628 waiting to leave. So with that said, what bus is the line side transport hub on this grey and cloudy morning? That of course is, quite dark. Of course this only slightly chilly, but I'm sure it will be way more chill than this late. Let's go have a look. Alexander Desivar, finished by scanning into 50, D number 15, 359, waiting on the route 6 to Long Levens. We also have another bus, Alexander Desivar, finished by scanning into 30, D number 15, 638. And then of course Alexander Desivar, finished by scanning into 50D15 367, and Alexander Desivar from MNC 10903 here. All waiting to go. And I'm more or less out to the, more or less towards the front area, because we are now heading off to the railway station. Just as you can just about see Alexander Desivar 300 there. Alexander Desivar 200, and to go for 3607, heading back towards the bus depot. This is where, of course, we wait for green light. Another one again. So of course that means there's 4 buses inside the transport hub at the moment. So all's good there. So now, time to head up this bit into the railway station. Service to London, Paddington Tunnel is now leaving. It's a long one. It's a 9-coacher. $800, 305. Next train will be the 9:20:75 essential, but we'll have no look our sign, because since it won't be, the train won't be for Another couple of minutes. Heights on this above 227, 711 on number 8. So let's have a look. So yeah, 9:27 to Cardiff Central, 9:35 to Worcester Foregate Street, 9:40 to Bristol, then finally service to Nottingham, because I don't think the Cardiff Central one will be on time. Bingo. Don't think he'll be on time. So just down from there, you can see a Class 800 just across there. Cross-country service now being called out. Hopefully all trains should be running smoothly, hopefully. Class 800 is now left, or Class 802 is now left. Just about see in the distance, going around the corner. And then of course the cross-country service Cardiff Central will start showing itself in just a moment. And of course, as usual, it's the service from Nottingham. Is now in sight, and it's one in the new cross-country livery. Her to Andrew Watts, FK8JJ. What's coming up there? Okay, the train is now in sight. So everybody put your hands together for 170, 102, which that one's now in the new cross-country livery now. Coming to a nice stop. And the Great Western Railway's Worcester Foregate Street service is being called out now. And it's a 5-coach train now instead of any.
Make your
It's been platform alterated. Of course, it's not in sight at the moment. We are going to walk a little bit forward because the thing is that this train's supposed to more or less have be an arrival and a departure at the same time. And I can see the bright lights of the 5-coach train to Worcester 4 Street, which has now, of course, come into my eye line. Hello to Ducati Days. Yes, it is Gloucester. I think the train has actually come to a stop just right outside the platform. But there you go, is the sign showing Gloucester on there. But yeah. Oh, they changed the platform alteration at last second. Because it was originally going to be on platform 4, but it's now on platform 1. Oh, that's a surprise. That you're actually a signaller at the Worcester 4 Street. But sorry, not the Worcester 4 Street, the Gloucester Horton Road station box. Signal box just down from the station. Where it's nice to meet your acquaintance. As I said, I really enjoy trains, and I have been at the Horton Road train crossing myself a couple of times during November, early December, on some Wednesdays and one Friday. So yeah. Now, of course, there's more or less be a few minutes waiting game for the service to Bristol Templemead. So that one, I believe, will be a train that will be formed of 2 coaches, probably. Either a class 158, well, it'll probably be one, since a class 800, 802, a class 158, and a class 165 seems to be all on rotation. We would go more or less down here for a couple of minutes back to the buses area, because the thing is that there won't be any just yet, because there won't be any trains just for a couple of minutes, and they won't be. Thank you, Ducati Days, and of course, same to you as well. Have a good rest of the day as well. So down there at the moment we have 4 buses in the transport hub. It's going to be turned to a choreography of 5x5 at the transport hub since I see an Alexander and Var 400 Trident arrive. But saying that, and now they're calling out the service to Bristol Templemead, so I think even though that was quick, I need to get back to the front ASAP. And of course there's an Envar 400 by scanning into 50 UD down there. So here we go. Of course they will have to pass the Class 800 in order to get to the station. And it does say 2 coaches, so that will be a Class 158. I know it is, since that is usually in rotation with a Class 165 and a Class 800 or 802. It's a service from Worcester Shrub Hill, so they've truncated it from Worcester Foregate Street at Worcester Shrub and beginning at Worcester Shrub Hill, heading to Bristol Templemead. Remember when trains used to go all the way to Great Malvern from, but it wasn't from Bristol, it was from even further away, like Westbury and Weymouth, and even some Portsmouth Harbour. Hello to Victoria Cleo. It's just arrived. There is, of course, don't see, as I say, I don't see the train, which is probably going to show up at last minute, which is going to be really, really interesting. Don't see anything just yet. It's probably on its on the approach to Bristol, to the station. Of course, another little bus thing for you. Alexander Svarford by Scallion 250 UD going round the front there on its way in. And it's also covering single deckers on the 13, local number 13 to Abbeydale. And if anybody asks if I see anything yet, no, not yet. Class 800 is still there. Oh, there we go. I now see the shape of a Class 158 base going quite more or less a crawl speed. Here it comes. So everybody put your hands together for 158 762. And yeah, that train definitely sounds really good. And then it's a possibility that your last train you're going to see is maybe the 9, because I'm not sure if it's going to be on time or not, is the 9:49 arriving. You would at least see it arrive, but not with a departure, because I've got another place I need to be. So of course haven't got a picture of the train just yet. Got people in front of it. There we go. And right along is of course the sign for the train. Of course, the train of course has 2 coaches. Directional lights have changed. Two minutes prior to its departure. So here the train waits. But right there you can see the roof of the Alexander SVR 400 Trident just leaving. So of course you will see the train. Of course it'll be leaving in just half a minute's time. And I'm getting a good feeling about this, that this train is going to more or less have a powerful exit. Yeah, so the doors are closing. Yeah, that's powerful. Very powerful acceleration as it leaves the station, which is good. As I say, it's a really small train though. As I said, in my Modern Railways magazine, it says that the class 175s may not be enough for medium-term strategy and may need another load of trains to cascade from another company. Over there is the Tower Levante 2, body Volvo, plain white. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to know what they'll replace it with, what they'll get to more or less boost the amount of coaches on existing services and also begin new services. because the thing is, there is a report saying there would be a transport for Wales class 160, class 158, but there are some saying to you that that might be a little bit of nonsense. So anybody who believes that it's not going to be a transport for Wales class 158 in the short term, you tell me which trains it will be that will replace that. No, that would be additional, not replace, additional. So down there you've got some, of course, Alexander Spa 400s, but you also got both Yutong E12s, which I believe is 73, 219 and 208, and one of them is now leaving on driver training duties. We'll get a little bit closer to have a little closer look. Of course, at the moment it's showing a not in service sign, so you never know, the bus could be returning to the depot. Oh, you got Gloucester Rugby's coach, Mercedes-Benz Turismo Triaxle. And what I see, that does look like 73 219, but we also have Alexander Spa 203 7013. Yeah, it is 73 219. Just waiting to go back to Gloucester Depot, I'm sure. Off it goes. Of course, we have Alexander Spa 300 by man 18.2 4022 748 powering up the incline. And yes, we got a cross-country service to Cardiff Central in the not to Cardiff Central, to Nottingham in the of course we've also got Alexander Spa 400s leaving in the background. Here we are now. So of course the service to Cardiff Central by Transport for Wales is still running its marks on time, so getting down there as quickly as possible. So the train is 170 636, still bearing the old livery, and of course we're covered with people. So I said, see our last trains depart. Air Transport for Wales service is not in sight just yet. It's got 2 coaches, so it could be anything. It could be a class 197 in a 2-coach formation, or it could be a class 150. Either one. Ooh. Be interesting to see. Another ambulance. Starting to show. It's a class 197, so you'll see the train from that side. So here comes the CAF class 197, 020. And that's the sound of a train coming in at high speed. So yeah, as I said, there'll be a high certainty that we will see 197.020 in the afternoon, so you'll be able to see it in more light, in much show of light. Of course, we also have an Alexander Swab 400 EV that's also joined the convoy down there. We will now as I said, we will see 197.020 in this afternoon session. So meanwhile, we'll have a couple of buses departing. One of them's from the Stroud fleet of Envar 400s. And of course there are no buses coming down from this direction, so it's time to say that about wraps it up for the morning session. So of course, as usual, I'll be back for the afternoon session. I will leave a description on TikTok at my channel at AnacondaAlex1, and of course it will be back, and as I said, I will be back for the afternoon session starting at 12:10. So with that said, thank you for watching my X-Files, and I will see you at 12:10 in the afternoon. Stuck it!